was ranked as preseason number 1 going into this season. And Georgia is also predicted right now to make the college football playoff and be a top 4 seed. So with Georgia, what are some causes for concern in this matchup against Clemson? And it's pretty ironic, and this goes to show how much college football, sports in general, is theater, is theatricality, because the start of Georgia's dynasty, quote unquote, going back to the 2021 season, opened up with a matchup against Clemson. And that was a matchup in which many people predicted Clemson to win that game handedly. But Georgia came out and dominated Georgia came out and dominated Clemson defensively. And that was a sign of things to come for not just that season and winning the national championship, but also for the next 3 and 4 years. So will this be the same thing? Will this be similar to that matchup 3 years ago? I believe it will be, but some causes for concern for Georgia are their offensive side, the offensive side of the ball. Obviously losing Brock Bowers and Matt McConkey, who were the 2 primary targets for Carson Beck. Carson Beck does return, and he's another person that was on the Heisman watch list. But how will the offense subside for Georgia? Who will be the safety valve? Who will be the primary target for Carson Beck going into the season? We know that Georgia's offense had some moments of inconsistency last season, and one of those moments came up against Alabama in the SEC championship game, in which they lost and was never really in the game if you watched it from start to finish. So what will Georgia do to subside for the losses of, like I said, Brock Bowers and Matt McConkey? And will Carson Beck be able to take that next step as not just a quote-unquote game manager, but also a quarterback that can create plays and extend drives and be the primary playmaker as opposed to just the facilitator of this Georgia offense? That's what is going to be indicative of Georgia's success, not just in this game, but also for the entire season. If Carson Beck can take that next step and be the Heisman candidate that many people expect him to be, then Georgia, yes, will once again be in contention to win a national championship. No one is particularly worried about Georgia on the defense side of the ball. They have many returners coming back from last season, and I am on par with other analysts. I don't believe Georgia's defense is going to be an issue. For me, the offense is what's going to be the issue. Will they be able to be consistent, and will they, like I said, be able to have Carson Beck take that next step? And this is an interesting matchup for Georgia against Clemson, because we know Clemson also had struggles on the offense side of the ball. They're extremely inconsistent, led by DJ Uiagalelei, who is now at Florida State, who struggled once again for Florida State against Georgia Tech, but that wasn't Uiagalelei's fault. There was a lot of things going on in Florida State, but that's for another show, not for this show. But Clemson struggled offensively last year, and defensively they were a little better on that side of the ball. However, will Georgia's offense be able to make enough plays during this game? And listen, Clemson obviously loses 4 players from the defensive side of the ball. They were all ACC, but I don't really see it as losing as opposed to just retooling. They still have a great defensive line, and they still have defensive end TJ Parker. And back to the offense side of the ball for Clemson, we're still unsure about the status for Trevor Etienne, whether he's going to play or not, because he was arrested for a DUI back in March. We're not sure if he's going to be suspended for that. So losing Trevor, if Trevor Etienne doesn't play, I do believe this game will be a blowout. But if Trevor Etienne plays, I do think this game will be a little closer for Clemson. And They also have new receivers in Brian Wesco and TJ Moore to help stretch the field. So I think this game is going to be a little closer than people expect. Right now, ESPN has Georgia with an 82% chance to win this game, and the over-under at 48, and the spread to be -12 for Georgia. I would not take that spread right now. Right now, I have Georgia squeaking this game out towards the end with a late touchdown drive or possibly late field goal. So I have Georgia winning this game by a score of 23-17. I do think this game will be close through and through. Apologies. And that's, like I said, due to the fact that Clemson has tools coming back on offense and retooling on defense. And there's just a lot of questions, a lot of cause for concern for Georgia on the offense side of the ball. And though I do think Georgia's going to win this game, like I said, by a score of 23-17, I do think that Clemson is going to make it a close one. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys think this game is going to be close? Do you guys have Clemson pulling off the upset? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I would love to hear all about it. And in our next segment, guys, speaking of upsets, we're going to be talking about another very interesting matchup between Notre Dame and Texas A&M. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We will be right back.